The time is finally here. Following the reveal of Assassins Creed Valhalla earlier this week, Microsoft announced the next episode of Inside Xbox, focusing on next-gen games from third-party partners and developers. Naturally, the first gameplay for Assassins Creed Valhalla will be there, but what else is there to show? The team at XboxEra grabbed a virtual meeting room and hashed out our predictions for titles we think may be at the event. Let's dive in. Yes, that Harry Potter game. The one leaked in late 2018 that just screamed, too good to be true. Watching the video, you could tell right away that this was a next-generation game with an ambitious scope. Character creation, class selection, a full-fledged Hogwarts, destructible environments, dueling, and so much more. From the description that accompanied the leak, the game apparently takes place in the 19th century, long before the adventures of Harry and the gang, and during a much more dangerous time. We know next to nothing about this game, not even the developer, though Avalanche is rumored. But perhaps the most credible hint is from Warner Bros. Themselves, more specifically, in their initial E3 plans for this year. For the very first time, they plan to have an E3 conference, where Kotaku reported they were going to talk about a Harry Potter game that had leaked in 2018. Would they plan to do an entire conference if they only had a couple games to show? We don't think so. And this makes Harry Potter a very possible reveal for next week. Out of these two Warner Bros. Games, this one is the more likely to be shown. We've had a steady supply of cryptic hints towards another Batman game, and considering it's already been 5 years since The Dark Knight was last seen, it's either now or never. Numerous speculation has been done on the title, and Warner Bros. Montreal, the developer behind Arkham Origins, have been slowly hyping the game. The more common theory is that this game will focus on the Court of Owls story, a Batman arc introduced during the New 52 comic lineup. The cryptic symbols released, however, hint that many of the Bat's foes will be present. Could the title be a possible reboot for the series? Co-op? Multiple playable characters? We don't know. But what we do know is that Rocksteady, the developers behind Arkham Asylum, City, and Night, are not the ones working on this title, reducing the chance of it being a direct sequel. There's little doubt that this game will be seen sometime this year, but could we possibly see it as early as next week? Historically always a close partner for Microsoft, PLAYDEAD's new title has been in development for a number of years as they wrapped up the critically acclaimed Inside, which debuted on the Xbox stage. It's been a while since then, and while we do know that Playground recently signed a publishing deal with Epic, Microsoft does have one of the largest stages in the world, so it's certainly possible. Originally announced at Microsoft's E3 2018 press conference, Dying Light 2 is one of the most ambitious games in recent memory. It takes the concept of the original game and expands it significantly. The game will have real choices, consequences, and will be much more of a role-playing game than the first entry. The game is being written by Chris Avellone, known for being one of the lead writers for Fallout New Vegas. The game is currently without a release date, as it was recently moved out of its spring 2020 release window. We haven't heard from the game in a while. Could we see it next week? Let's hope so. Whilst we can't expect Keanu this time, we do know that Microsoft are the marketing partners for Cyberpunk 2077. With the recent limited edition themed Xbox One X and the game's subsequent delay to September, it's likely we'll see more from CD Projekt Red here. In addition, we know that they are supporting Microsoft's Smart Delivery initiative, meaning that those who pick up the Xbox One version of the game get all of the additional bells and whistles on the Series X for free. Does this lend weight to our thoughts that the Series X may launch in September of 2020? Well, that'd be one hell of a launch title. Rumor has it that EA will be among the publishers showing gameplay at this event, and while we do think it's too early to show off the new Dragon Age, which was teased at the Game Awards 2018, we do expect something else. While Sony has had the marketing rights to FIFA for the past 3 years, it would be a bold move from Microsoft to snatch them back, and meanwhile, the sports game itself could use some fresh energy as the last edition's Volta mode didn't leave a lasting impression. We think EA will be there, and either it's going to be something new, or it'll be the return of FIFA to Xbox. Platinum Games has had a couple of announcements in their Platinum 4 social media event this year. They've announced Project GG by Kamiya and the wonderful 101 remaster. One of their announcements, however, still has yet to happen. Described as Platinum Games docking new collaboration with a legendary developer. We think Platinum Games may very well reveal it at the upcoming event. Last year, two particular titles were announced for Xbox One, the Remedy small game production called CROSSFIRE X, and the quite excellent, if not sadly underrated, KARTRIDER Drift by the Nexon company. Both games are sequels to titles that have seen immense success across Eurasia, South Korea in particular, and this is the first time either company has published an in-house production on home consoles. With CROSSFIRE coming with a single-player campaign developed by the excellent folks at Remedy, and KARTRIDER coming to consoles with crossplay at launch, both of these games would be a fantastic fit for next week's episode. It's been quite a while since we've seen or heard anything from Rocksteady, aside from the persistent rumor of a Superman game of some sort. As we wrote earlier, we know Warner Bros. Prior to COVID had planned a big E3 show of their own. Could we see them partner up with Microsoft to show off this title as well? We're hoping so.
Tell me you don't see it.
It would have been somewhat hypocritical of us not to predict Elden Ring would be there next week, wouldn't it? After all, it was on our podcast back in December where we first said Microsoft would have a show in April or May and that Elden Ring would be there. This is arguably the most anticipated game of the year, at least as far as the fervor to see actual gameplay goes. That particular podcast episode is still our most viewed, and Ed tells us he receives DMs weekly from people on Discord, etc. and Twitter asking him if he's seen or heard anything about Elden Ring, which he hasn't since then. But we are pretty confident that the moment has come and From Software will finally give the world a glimpse of what they've been working on. These are our predictions for the next Inside Xbox landing on May 7th. Do you agree? Disagree? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching.